Then, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar about social selling. Quite happy that we could make this work on Friday morning. Yeah, today we will be talking about social selling, which is becoming more and more interesting to a lot of companies, more relevant. Today I'm talking with David, the CEO and co-founder of Leadjet, and with Antoine, head of sales of Qualifio. My name is Ben. I'm working here at Hubspot in sales for about 2 years. And maybe you want to say something about yourself, one or two sentences before we dive deeper into what social selling is, what you can do there, what kind of tools you could use, and how to really set up a successful social selling strategy.
Yeah. Thanks for introducing Ben. So yes, I'm David, co-founder of Leadjet. Leadjet is a very young SaaS company, a bit more than a year old. And what we actually do is we help salespeople in their daily life by connecting LinkedIn with CRMs like Hubspot, and we eliminate different manual tasks, and we make the sales prospect faster and better.
And I'm Antoine, head of sales at Qualifio. Qualifio, we are a data collection platform. So we are a SaaS company, and we built a platform that allows customers to create interactive content such as quiz, poll, contests. So our customers are mainly enterprise companies such as Nestlé, L'Oréal, and also a lot of football company. I will show you some example after that. And we are, customer both of David's solution and Ben solution. So we are making those guys rich and happy.
Yeah, cool. Quite a diverse rounds here today. A sales rep, head of sales, and also a founder from different countries and different sizes. But I think what combines us is that we all have to do sales activities, and since there's always a lot of changes in the sale of how to do sales, we wanted to focus today particularly on the social selling aspect, which is becoming more and more important. Maybe it would be cool to discuss a few sentences about, or mention a few sentences about what social selling actually is. I think it's a buzzword, so it's always good to clear things up a little bit and explain our understanding of it. I don't know, David, Antoine, if you want to say something about it.
Sure. For me, most important is when you talk about social selling, and it's a buzzword. You need to understand: is it something new? Is it something existing? Or versus what do you compare social selling? So, I mean, when we talk about the old sales word, it's cold calling, it's having sales demos, and then qualifying the lead based on the demo. And social selling is a bit different. So in the word itself, there's social. So you often deal with a social network like LinkedIn. It's the biggest to name. We have more than 700 million users there. Super easy to reach out. You just connect, and then you push a message. And then we have also others like Twitter, of course. Where also nowadays social selling happens in kind of a B2B area. And so this is required, a network. Then what is also required is kind of, or what is happening on social selling is education and engagement. Because when I now start with LinkedIn, I can't start directly with puking sales, meaning I just push messages and try to come up in the first message with a marriage and try to convert someone that obviously won't do the job. So often it starts way earlier by building your network. First of all, looking who you want to have in your network, because you have specific content you often share. So you want to get sure that this content reaches the right people. So try to find your audience, build that network and connections. And then when they see your posts and your content, then they interact with you, engage with you. So that's the second one. First the education, now the engagement. And then now we're getting into the process of social selling. And then actually social selling is a good thing because the people already know, let's say, about your product when you try to sell your product on LinkedIn. And then you can often reach out better by a message and have a shorter sales cycle because they already heard about you in the feed. And that makes it easier than having just a cold call, which is nowadays, I don't know, think below 1% is the chance of landing from a cold call a deal. Social selling is way higher when it comes to the ROI. I think there was this famous quote: when you invest $1 in social selling, you get $5 out. Because it's a pretty cheap alternative. You can put social selling on steroids and have it automated fully. In the old sales world, of course, you need a human, and you need to have a fully powered sales team, which costs more money. So that's why you have shorter life cycles in social selling. You have it's a cheaper alternative. The ROI is obviously better, and everyone can start with social selling. Doesn't necessarily to be a sales guy.
Yeah, I would totally agree. That is exactly also what we're experiencing at Hubspot, or in our general private life. Social networks itself getting more and more relevant for everyone in the private life, also in the business world. And yeah, I think by now social networks like LinkedIn, they cannot be taken out of a successful sales strategy, or also marketing and sales, which are in best case scenario, they're all quite combined, and you need to take this into consideration if you want to be successful, to be able to find the prospects, be where the prospects are. It's also more and more about building relationships, right? Just what you just said, David. Not like this old process of cold calling, which used to be very successful in the past, has now completely changed. The same goes for cold emails. So these social networks just give you a better foundation to build a trustful relationship, and I think that's why it's so important to deal with that. And yeah, maybe that's basically it.
I think what is super important, as you said, everyone can kind of interact on the platform, and everyone can, like when we start on LinkedIn, build their personal brand. That now with social selling, it is possible that you can have an extension of your sales team as well. Because everyone, and that's how we do at Leadjet. We actually have, yes, we use Leadjet because we connect LinkedIn with our CRM, of course. But we don't, not only sales guys are kind of interacting on LinkedIn, everyone of our team. So we have different postings because everyone has a different audience to reach. For instance, Romar, the CTO of Leadjet, talks about development stuff, problems he has in developing Leadjet, or successes he has, and that reaches his kind of audience from different companies. And actually, he signed the biggest deal from all of us, but he's a developer. But he pushed this lead then from LinkedIn into the CRM, and then someone else took over. The same is when you talk as a founder also about your problems, like to start a company, and you're struggling and all that, and also of course your highlights of being a founder. And that's, the people relate more, as we say, it's social. People should relate, and you should tell stories. Like story selling has a higher chance to sell. I think like 45% on average, you have better sales opportunities with your social selling than traditional selling. And I don't know, Antoine, how you do it at Qualifio, if only sales are like operating on LinkedIn, or also if you kind of extend it from sales and everyone is kind of playing a part.
Everyone is on LinkedIn, and our CMO is always, I think, every day pushing everyone to put stuff on LinkedIn, to like information, to share information on LinkedIn. On the sales side, it's part of our strategy. So social selling is part of the strategy. I just wanted to go back to what Ben said about cold calling and cold emailing. It's still working. Don't get us wrong. It's social selling is now part of our sales cycle, and like real big parts of our sales strategy. But of course, cold calling and cold emailing is still working a lot. And at the end, social selling will help you to create a relation, to find information. But at the end, what's gonna work? It's a pure conversation between two people, and if you don't have a phone or an email, you cannot build this. But yes, it's part of our strategy, and we don't have only sales guy on LinkedIn. We have the whole company is on LinkedIn. and it's pushing so in different ways. So marketing communication will be more for use cases, tough lead content. So now our CEO is also on LinkedIn. Is pushing a lot of information, trying to find to help us even in recruiting people. It's also show okay how your company is, how the people are in. So yes, it's not just selling, but everyone is on LinkedIn.
Okay, how would you see, like, as I know you are 4 years at Qualifio, how did your social selling, or did you have a social selling strategy at the beginning? And if yes, how did it change? Or you started with social selling just recently? Maybe you can just share a bit here.
Well, when I started at Qualifio, I was the first sales on the French market. We are a Belgium company, so it's often Belgium companies that start in Belgium and they move to the French market quite quickly because we are a bigger market than the Belgic. Yes, we start. It was more okay to do sales what in the way you want to do it. So if you want to do cold calling, let's start with cold calling. If you believe in LinkedIn, sure as it can work, but build your own strategy. So we did not have a full social selling strategy. It came later on, and with also the impulsion of our CMO, which is a big fan of digital activities, and he truly believes is that companies and leads can come with digital activities. So he pushed a lot on digital activation, and especially on, of course, the social networks, the professional social networks such as LinkedIn, to make sure we can gather and bring leads to the company. And today we are a company where more than 45% of the deal signed came via inbound, so via marketing action. So I would say social selling is more, it's combined action between marketing and sales today, and it came via with the arrival of our CMO 2 years ago.
Okay, how would you, because you have the perspective now from a scale up SME, how would you at HubSpot, and it would be interesting for me as well if HubSpot actually has a social selling strategy as well, or if they do social selling at all.
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit similar to Antoine actually, even though we're a bigger company. So we are getting more and more encouraged to do social selling due to various reasons. One is the research that was conducted and has shown like really good results. Things that you said, 50% more leads, shorter sales cycles, easier to build relationships. So just the pure effectivity of the pure effect. And then you also have, of course, some outside factors. So when I remember the time when I used to be a BDR at HubSpot, so doing the groundwork, doing a lot of cold calls, doing a lot of cold outreach, only the first part of the sales process. I know that it used to get harder as people, some people drop out of communication. The DSGVO has changed, so data privacy becomes more, especially in the German DACH market, becomes more important. So at some point, it was just a little bit harder to drive success from the pure, just harder to get in direct contact with the decision makers of target companies, right? So especially when I was going after like the high potential target companies, it was just at some point easier for me to do some research also in the social networks, find what these people are interested in, what they post, send detailed and personalized connect messages via the social channel than going through pure email. We don't have a exact strategy that everyone has to follow, but we do have trainings about social sellings because it's really a more complex process than sending a really nice personalized email or a good prepared or well prepared cold call, because before you really successfully engage into social selling, you have to take several things into consideration, like for instance how you present yourself in the social network, how you build your profile. There are a lot of things that you can do wrong here, and these things are things that you should think about before engage into social selling. I mean, in general, what HubSpot is always going after is like providing value at each step of the buyer's journey. So creating this inbound sales strategy where also LinkedIn perfectly fits in. So what we do on a regular basis, or what we at least encourage to do on a regular basis, everyone is doing it a little bit different, is doing regular postings on LinkedIn, engaging in groups that where our customers are not only salespeople, also people from other departments, what you said earlier. But it's a more complex process, in my opinion, if we really want to build a successful social selling strategy. Then because you have to take multiple things into consideration, be active, also be supportive, play with the community, engage with the community. This is something that gets more important due to access, and also due to the success that we have.
I also recently talked with a client of us, which is a old economy client, like big industrial client. I have the feeling that implementing a social selling strategy for bigger corporations, multinational corporations, is way harder than for a startup or scale up, because you need to get, in my opinion, when you do social selling, you need to get somehow everyone involved and hooked to do it, because LinkedIn is a private network. You are, as an individual on LinkedIn, more for career and recruiting things, and LinkedIn became kind of present in the sales space just a few years ago, because it's an open database of leads. Basically, you can see straight who's working where. You get the information you need, and then you can do whatever you want. So if you want to have it in a sequence, in an emailing sequence, in a LinkedIn message sequence, or if you want to cold call, then you now can do that. The challenge for this old economy company is, how can I actually motivate all my employees to be active on LinkedIn? Because I think it starts way earlier. You first need to identify with your company, because if you don't identify with your company, if you don't identify with HubSpot, you're not really willing to post about HubSpot. Or if you post about HubSpot, then you may reshare some things because you need to do the job. For me, and that we saw with our clients, is the best social selling strategy and the best involvement and engagement on LinkedIn is when you really sharing kind of the values of the company, if you share kind of the culture, if you feel like a part of this culture, and then you tell your stories. That's so important, but it's so hard to motivate. I was also in a big corporation in a bank working for 5 years, and they also said, hey guys, you need to post more on LinkedIn. And I was working in M&A and that stuff, and sharing M&A deals 5 years ago on LinkedIn was so new. No one was actually doing it. Now you see it everywhere. I didn't feel really comfortable with it as well, and that's weird, because now we feel so comfortable with it. I mean, LinkedIn itself also moves to a social network where it's not only serious anymore. So you have also some things you had on Facebook. It's getting stories and also some memes and stuff. So it's getting a bit more casual, I would say. And I think that value to people, and we see way more engagement on LinkedIn than we had some years ago. And you see that in the numbers of LinkedIn and the active usage and the time spent on LinkedIn. I think when we are all honest, we have LinkedIn open the whole day. Whether it's for prospecting or whether it's for networking. Yeah, I think, and that's why we created Leadjet. There were some things missing between the CRM and LinkedIn, or the connection was missing. What's great, and we are also started using a CRM. What's great is you have in your CRM everything sorted. You have all your contact data. You can work with your CRM. And you can have workflows even in HubSpot to push then messages. So that's awesome. And the problem was for me really in the updating part, in the creation of records and the connection of LinkedIn. There is a connection for a lot of CRMs with LinkedIn, but it's always working on the side of the CRM. And with Leadjet, we believe that your CRM should also work there where you work. So where the relationship happens, and nowadays more and more relationship happens on LinkedIn. So reach out there, you write messages, and then you want to quickly push them into your CRM, because then only it is viewable. I don't know, like Antoine is head of sales, and I think he wants to know what his SDRs, BDRs, whatever are doing. Now with Leadjet, kind of it's the first time that you have access to it, and it is viewable, and you can even have reports, so you can see, okay, how many people got added via LinkedIn, coming from LinkedIn, deals originated from LinkedIn, and you can now benchmark the LinkedIn strategy with all your other strategies, whether it's social selling or sales in general. Yeah, and I think that that's important, working or having the CRM when you are on the platform and not losing time switching tabs. And that's where we see the CRMs were a bit lacking. And that's why we saw kind of the opportunity. First, we didn't want to do a company. It was more for us for ourselves, but then more people said, hey, I want to have it as well. So that's now why we are here. But I don't know. I think Antoine, as you are now with kind of 6 months with Leadjet, how would you describe the things changed using the CRM solely before, like Hubspot, and then using it with Leadjet?
To be honest, the main thing that changed. So I have a team of six sales manager, and they are rather. Well, there is both. I have juniors, but I have senior ones also. So we have one rule at the company: is what is not in HubSpot doesn't exist.
Hmm.
So and for sales manager, it's either blank or black. So you do your target, you achieve your targets, you're on targets or you're good elements. So it's everything is fine. And when you're not in targets, well, it's written in paper. So it's written. So it's easy to check and to see if it's successful or not. The qualitative part of the job is more difficult to assess. And so sometimes when sales manager is having some trouble to find new opportunity, to open new opportunities, to sign new deals, so you go deeper in, okay, what is your day-to-day, how you work, and how can I help you? And before Leadjet, we were saying, okay, but so did you prospect those guys? Did you went? So I see that there is no activity on your HubSpot, what's going on? And I was, yeah, but everything is in LinkedIn. I prospect on LinkedIn. I use emails. I add a lot of people in my network. So I'm more having a more social selling strategy. So this is good, but I don't have the track record in HubSpot. And if it's not in HubSpot, it doesn't exist. So using Leadjet now allows me to really make the bridge between the two. And all the activities that are made in LinkedIn are flagged and are after I can find it in HubSpot. So I love HubSpot because I have a lot of dashboards, tons of dashboards that I build myself. So I can track all the activities, everything, and I can see that there is volume. But sometimes you have a sales manager that is lacking of motivation, something like that. So you can see that the volume is dropping. So here you know that you have a problem. But it can be also someone that is having a lot of volume but no results. So the problem is not by the volume, but is perhaps the way he's doing it. So it helps you to understand a bit better what's going wrong and to help him reach his targets, because we all want to be on target. So yeah, I think the main change is that, okay, I don't have this answer anymore. I say, yeah, but I'm prospecting on LinkedIn. I'm doing this on LinkedIn. So there is no link on HubSpot. If I do it on LinkedIn, so I send an email to a guy in LinkedIn, I need to add the guy manually on HubSpot. Then I need to copy paste my email and put it in HubSpot and add a task, etc. So it's going to take me 20 minutes just for one email in LinkedIn. And now I would show you after, but it's just in one click. I have all the information and I can follow, so I can save a lot of time, prospect more, and I can have my head of sale happy because he will find all the information in HubSpot.
And that's important. I think having the information right at your hand when you need it is super important. And having it like when it comes to data, and when you have like more a team of salespeople and everyone is doing prospecting, it's also so important that all the records are kind of on the same level. So you have the same kind of fields enriched, and not that someone has just 20% of the record filled and the other one is doing a job of 100%. Because sure, sales, you want to do sales, so you want to sell, but you don't want to do administrative tasks and admin because it takes time away. And if there is something where you can save time and you can get sure, okay, the data is in there, and even get sure about updates, of course, then it's great, and it helps you maybe to make more sales, even because you now can spend more time on actually selling.
What I also really like about Leadjet is that it basically can cover the entire sales cycle, just larger part of the sales cycle, because I think it's exactly right what you said, David. Current CRMs are aware of the fact that they need to integrate to all kinds of different solutions. I think this is also, for instance, when we look at HubSpot, just launched Operations Hub, which is just was a dedicated hub to integrate to all kinds of different systems. So a software tool that doesn't integrate to other relevant systems, it's really hard to become successful. So HubSpot is already kind of doing a good job when it comes to the CRM side, showing the LinkedIn profile within HubSpot. You can send a connect message from HubSpot, so you do see some information or relevant information if you have contacts and companies in the system. What I like about Leadjet is that you can start way earlier. And this is something where also we have to use LinkedIn, or we do use LinkedIn. We start but with prospecting. We start to look or identifying the companies that are relevant for you. We start to identify the relevant point of contacts within those companies, and doing the first outreach then on LinkedIn. That's how we do it. And Leadjet enables you to really help with prospecting in the first place. So you go to LinkedIn and you do all this prospecting there, and then being able directly transfer this to HubSpot and have everything directly connected that comes afterwards as well. So this is something that I think it's pretty cool. Of course, there's some outreach support, like these templates features. What I think is really cool, because when I recall, I used to create LinkedIn templates for connect messages for in-mails in HubSpot, and then I was copying over these templates to LinkedIn manually. This is also something that you can do directly in Leadjet, and in the end, it drives just a better, or leverages both systems, the power of the CRM and also the power of LinkedIn directly. It's a major time saver. Yeah, that's what I think is key value from Leadjet. It's not just the communication, but also being able to put companies into the system quickly and drive the direct connection and having everything in one place. I think every company wants to have that. We have the same policy, by the way. What doesn't exist in HubSpot, or what can be shown in HubSpot doesn't exist. We have the same policy, of course. So
I thought that was an original guy, but looks like not too much.
no, I'm sorry, Antoine. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we maybe Antoine, as you said, you want to show your workflow. I think that could be super interesting. Maybe before you show that, the question from me to you, Ben, as you obviously you sell HubSpot, so you're a sales guy at HubSpot. How big is the interest? And now you're also working at HubSpot almost 2 years. How big is the interest, or got the interest of people asking for an integration to LinkedIn or something like this in general? Do you hear that very often?
Yeah.
Or is kind of from the client profile of HubSpot, it's still for the most, and in DACH region, we know in the DACH region, people do less social selling. I think 1 out of 5 do social selling actually. In the DACH region, it's still a buzzword. So how big is the interest in DACH region of people looking for an integration here?
Yeah. So from the conversations I heard, and I'm mostly working with a lot of fast growing startups. So this is like the territory that I'm in. I also have some more traditional companies, but I would say that there's a clear increase in the need for integrating both worlds, because LinkedIn is a super tool to directly getting access to the right point of contact that you want. Outbound sales, in my opinion, even for outbound sales, which a lot of companies want to grow fast, right? They like the idea of having this inbound, and they know that the inbound strategy is very very important. But also on the same time, it takes a little bit more time to build a sophisticated inbound sales and inbound marketing strategy. So a lot of companies also come to me and say, hey, we need also the outbound perspective, and for this we either buy contact lists. A lot of companies or some companies are still doing. I think it gets a little bit less because of the entire DSGVO and outdated emails. So LinkedIn is something that is already updated within directed access with a lot of information. So even if we're doing outbound emails and outbound cold calls, we would go to the LinkedIn profile and search for relevant triggers, postings, and these kind of things that we then implement in our strategy. So I think also in the DACH region, there is a clear trend towards integrating both worlds, having integrations for LinkedIn. So just I think 2 days ago, I had to demo or spend a substantial part of a HubSpot demo about this LinkedIn integration, which was well received. But of course, I'm always do that. I'm also showing other alternatives, or like other solutions, existing integration that we have between both worlds, if I see that there's a special need for a certain deeper integration for certain tools. And yeah, that's why also sometimes even Leadjet comes up into conversations for other integrations. It's other tools, because in the end, what we want is that the customers are as happy as possible with the overall IT setup, where HubSpot is only is a big part, of course, and it's getting bigger. It's a bigger part as we scale up and having more and more hubs. But in the end, I feel like it's my job to make sure that the prospect is happy with the entire IT setup. And when I see that a tool like Leadjet could benefit the approach, I'm also not hesitant to give recommendations for things like that. So trend is still a clear uptrend for it. Everyone knows that it's getting more important. Yeah, it will become even more important in the future. So when I talk to our BDRs now, they are on LinkedIn 24/7. So I think that's just a matter of time when we catch up to other markets. I think it's always the case that we're a little bit slower maybe in the DACH region, but it's same with the CRM in general, right? A lot of companies don't even have CRM systems or don't have CRM system currently, but the world is more connected, technology is everywhere scalable, and yeah, more companies are looking into that.
I also use LinkedIn to prospect HubSpot. I don't know if you know, because I don't know if you know Andreas. Andreas is doing the podcasts at HubSpot.
Yeah.
And I was once engaging with one of his posts. I added him kind of to my pipeline because this is more for partnerships and marketing, and it actually worked. We didn't know anyone at HubSpot, but it was so fun because I really just engaged with the posting, and then we got into talkings, and then 3 weeks later we got into the HubSpot Digital Help Desk podcast.
Yeah.
And it was all coming from LinkedIn. It was pretty cool. And yeah.
Yeah, no, Andreas is a very active on LinkedIn, very good social seller also. I think everyone is getting more and more active on LinkedIn. Also product updates. I try to post that regularly now to show some value. Are well aware of the fact that LinkedIn gets more important, and they have this community approach. You can engage with multiple different people at the same time. You can build your own brand. I think all our sales companies, they try to build a trusted advisor as their salespeople, right? And LinkedIn, also the social networks in general, give you the foundation of becoming a trusted advisor. Also, maybe talking about other things, but the own companies that you work for, but really become an expert of the area that you're working in. Because of course there are other great tools out there in the sales and marketing space besides HubSpot, and really engaging in some conversations get you to the position of having an own brand and becoming a more trusted advisor. That's at least what we try to do at HubSpot, what I try to do. So when I see that a company is not a good fit for HubSpot, then I'm also that's not a problem, right? Then I would give a recommendation for another tool, and making sure that the prospect has the right solution for the company in the end.
So maybe I think we should. I'm interested in see actually the workflow now from Antoine, because I haven't. I just read the case study, and we did a case study with Antoine recently, and there this famous sentence is from, like, when it's not in HubSpot, it does not exist. And we printed it on a billboard, and we shared it everywhere. At least it's out there on LinkedIn, Antoine. So if you want to claim it, you can claim it, I guess. No, I would love to see actually like the workflow you have.
Let's go and check it. Okay, so yes, I'm just gonna show you how we work with Leadjets and how we make sure everything is in HubSpot also, starting from LinkedIn, of course. So here I'm on my LinkedIn Sales Navigator lead list, and I build East Conference Soccer lists. Because at Qualifio we are very good in sports. In sports club, we have more than 20 clients in this industry, such as PSG, Barcelona. So only European clubs.
German? What about German clubs?
Only European and non-German club. But we are looking for a sales in Dash. So if anyone is interested in joining a nice company, you can. I will be very happy.
It's playing for Hertha. Maybe I can see if I can make a connection to Hertha Berlin.
But I will be really happy, to be honest, because I don't have for now. We don't have customer in Bundesliga, but we have a lot in France, Spain, Belgium also. Spain, Belgium, France. But what I'm looking for here, it's I want to address my message. So I would like to be able to prospect on some soccer team in the US. So here I build a list based on some criteria, so such as seniority level. I want people that are active on social selling. So of course we spoke about social selling, but if I have someone that is active in social selling, it's good. So we can see here that Michelle Rosa is already in my database because she's in with the nice purple of Leadjet. So that means that she's already in my HubSpot. So I won't take her. I will take here as the VP of marketing of New York City Football Club. So I'm gonna go. So I'm on Sales Navigator. I'm gonna go on her profile and I'm going to see if it's interesting for us. So here I'm more talking about, okay, prospection, but for target accounts, so big accounts. So prospection where I can spend some time looking at the prospect and make sure I will send the most relevant message. And I want to make sure she will be interesting by that. So I'm on LinkedIn. So what I used to do before we had Leadjet. So I'm on LinkedIn. I see she's VP marketing. She's been there for 2 years, etc. So I think, okay, she might be a good prospect for her. So I'm going to put it in HubSpot because everything that is not in HubSpot doesn't exist. So in the whole nice time, I used to just copy paste the name, surname, last name, email, etc. and all the information in HubSpot. But here I have now a button here, add to CRM. So just click on it, add as a contact, and it will be added directly in my HubSpot. We are a Belgium company, and we use HubSpot for both CRM and marketing activities. So my marketing department wants me to fill specific field, so really customizable field that we created in HubSpot, such as the function, the country, and the type working for, and I will show you. So I have all those fields that are directly in LinkedIn. So I have this small table here. This is Leadjet table, and this is stuff that I can edit directly in LinkedIn and that I will be able to put in my HubSpot. She is C-level head of marketing, so she's even VP level. In country, it's United States, so I need those information. It's for marketing purpose and social selling. As I said at the beginning, social selling is not about sell. It's also about the different departments of the company. So she's working for a brand. So football club, we consider it as a brand, and she speaks English. I validate here, and it will update directly my CRM. I want to reach her with the first message, so I'm just gonna go in my message. So I will send a message to her to my first outreach message. Top European clubs data collection strategies. And I'm going to type a message. I'm going to take it from my template that has been created with Leadjet. So I have my template here, which is now there, and I can send my email. And I cannot send my email. Yes, I can send my email right now. So I will send my email. Here is I synchronize with my CRM. So I have my email that is already sent with a nice template. And if I type update HubSpot to check if it's logged properly in HubSpot, I have here my message. Hi, we're currently sitting together. So I have everything that is logged in HubSpot, and so I show you HubSpot here, but as a sales manager, I will just do it directly in LinkedIn, and I will move to another contact or to another person. And here now I have all the information in HubSpot. So the head of sales is happy because everything is in HubSpot, and I did not spend a lot of time because in 2 minutes I managed to find a new prospect, find information on her, and flag everything in HubSpot and send her the first message. That's it, guys. I don't know if you have any questions.
Thanks for showing us the workflow. So since you're now using since 6 months Leadjet and HubSpot, what kind of main ROIs did you achieve with it?
I think the biggest one and the most important one is that I have a sales team that is happy now because they don't lose time in HubSpot thanks to Leadjet. So I think it's in terms of time, you can give me the time that I saved because I just did it in one click. Where I needed more, like I think like 2 or 3 minutes per lead. So you can do the math and see how much time we saved, and this time saved we put it in more prospection to be able to spend more time in digging information for those people rather than just admin stuff. So yeah, I think it's this is the most valuable information. And also for Ben and HubSpot, I just sent back 1,500 new contacts in my database, so they're very happy. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
it's
why I'm also sorry, because probably we kind of you need to upgrade to the next plan. As I know, the more contacts you have in HubSpot, the higher price you need to pay.
mm.
Sorry for that, Antoine.
Only if they're relevant for for marketing on a monthly basis, though. So for salespeople can still work as many contacts as they want. But yeah, more contacts. Yeah, that's like just a scaling factor in the on the marketing level, generating more leads. Yeah, but unlimited seats in the marketing space. Yeah.
But I'm kidding, Ben. Of course, I'm happy. I'm happy to use both tools. And if my CRM is yes, if I have more information in my CRM, it's more potential prospect, more clients. So
Yeah.
it goes for everything. So it's
I think what I really like about this workflow is super fast and super user friendly. So what you said, Antoine, like having happy salespeople is super important, because otherwise information won't be logged in the system. I in HubSpot is already, I think, it in a very good position when it comes to user friendly CRM system. When I have to log a lot of manual things, it's never a good thing, or a thing that sales reps that like. So having this really user friendly workflow, is something that is definitely beneficial for sales reps that are using HubSpot and Leadjet or HubSpot and LinkedIn heavily. So I think it's cool. I can imagine that it's a good time saver, and sales reps are quite happy
Yeah,
happy with
when
it.
Antoine, when you said like 2 to 3 minutes, then actually you're quite fast, because we did the test with our customers how much time, like we selected some, and they did the traditional way of finding the information, of course on LinkedIn, finding email, and finding company information as well. And we did it with Leadjet, and on average it was 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes of getting all the information and finding it and pushing it to the CRM. So I think with in the case study we say something like that per SDR we saved around about 4 hours per week. So I know when the price is higher for HubSpot, then the time save may lead you to more sales in general. So maybe then it's equal again or even more. No, thanks for really showing the workflow. I would say from my side, there's nothing more to add. I think it was super nice talk with you guys.
I can add back my. We are looking for sales manager in Dash or in the French market. So feel free to join if you want to move or to test to
Yes.
join a nice company.
Yeah, I will take a look at Qualify. Just a little bit of research before this the session today, because I'm not your dedicated account owner, but I saw that you had some good growth going on, and it also sounds like a cool product. So
Product is good. We already have some customer in Germany, but I think one of the main where we struggle a bit is that we don't have any German, sorry, not the German speaking sales, and it's a bit harder for this market, I guess. Same for the French market. And if you try to prospect in English to a French guy, he will never
yeah,
reply to you. Never.
yeah,
So I guess for Germany it's a bit the same. You in Germany, you speak a bit better English than us in France, but still I believe that we need someone that can speak the language and be on the
Definitely.
field.
Okay, then thank you very much, guys, for having this great meeting today, and shed a little bit light into the CRM slash social network world, which is, I think, very interesting to all companies, and Germany's DACH region especially has a way to go there. So I really like the case study, so that people could really see how this could actually work in practice. I think we will stay connected, stay in touch, and if you need anything, happy to connect again.
I think it was really a pleasure meeting you guys and talking about social selling today. Anything when there's something more, I think we will share this on social media, and there's more stuff to read, and Antoine's workflow also in a reading version to really follow it step by step, make it easier to copy that workflow. Thanks, Antoine, for showing that.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm available if you have any questions. See you on LinkedIn, I will say, or on social media.
Then everyone can straight reach out and prospect, and maybe use one of Antoine's opening. So that's good. Thanks,
All right.
thanks a lot, guys, and then have a good one.